Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Neutral Zone, where you can hear the latest and greatest hockey news. My name is Michaela Krupski, here with Nick Giglietti, and our good friend Andrew Bluestein is back with us. Andrew, it's been a while. How have you been?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here, able to jump on the last episode with you guys, especially right before I graduate. Show looks great this semester. Best of luck to you guys going forward, and I'm definitely excited to be able to talk some hockey with you guys. It's certainly been a fun season around the league.
It's great to have you back, Andrew. Now, this will be our last episode of the semester, but it's sure to be a good one because we are going to tell you what's going on around the NHL and a few playoff predictions as well because they're coming up starting May 2nd.
Oh, yeah, I'm so ready for the playoffs. Speaking of, the Colorado Avalanche and the Florida Panthers were the first two teams to clinch a spot in this season's playoffs. Now, they're at the top right now, but what do you guys think? Do you think these two teams will go all the way?
I think they have a good shot of making the playoffs. I really like the additions that they made to the teams. So I think if those additions can help them in the playoffs, make them a deeper team, they can definitely go far.
I think both those teams definitely have a good shot, made some good moves at the deadline. So did a lot of other teams, though. East is really stacked, so we'll see how it all plays out.
My top three teams that can win the Cup this year are the Florida Panthers. All the additions that they added on, like Claude Giroux and Ben Chiarot. Also, Jonathan Huberdeau is having a career year. They look dangerous right now. I also think that the Tampa Bay Lightning will have another chance to win the Stanley Cup this year. They have so much great depth and got a few good assets like Nick Paul and trading away a few players that they did not really need on the team. I would really like to see the Carolina Hurricanes go and win a cup this year with the great players they have like Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen, and the goalie for the Canes has also been playing out of his mind, that it being Freddie Anderson. If he can stay consistent in the playoffs, the Canes can go far.
So, my top three teams to win the Cup this season would probably be the Avalanche, Flames, or the Panthers. All three of these teams have been cleaning up this season and are huge powerhouses. If I had to choose one, it'd probably be Colorado. They've been doing very well these past few seasons, and I think this is the year they could finally go all the way.
I like your take on Calgary. I think Calgary's been really strong. Made some good moves getting to Foley before the deadline. Then they added Kelly Yarncrook. Jacob Markstrom's been having a really strong year. I also like Minnesota out of the West as well. They added Marc-Andre Fleury to bolster their goaltending depth. Cam Talbot's been really good. They also went out and got Jacob Middleton, defenseman from San Jose. Adds a little nasty in their lineup. And they also got Nick Deslauriers, a power forward from Anaheim, who is another guy who adds to their tenacity. And then in the East, I'm thinking outside the box here. I think it could go to anybody, but I really like the Rangers and the Bruins. I think the Rangers' blue line is extremely bolstered. Adam Fox, defending Norris Trophy guy. Jacob Trouba. Ryan Lindgren's one of the most underrated defensemen in the league. And Keandre Miller's really emerged as a really good defenseman. And then their forwards are really well, too. They added Andrew Kopp at the deadline. And then Shesterkin can easily steal a season. I think series rather. He's, I think, the Hart Trophy favorite this year. And then Boston, their continuity of their forwards has really looked good since the 1st of January. Jake DeBrusk is starting to produce on that top line. Second line, Hall has really stepped up with Hall and Pasternak. And that third line with Coyle and Frederick and Smith. They've been really relentless on the forecheck. And then obviously adding Hampus Lindholm on the back end really bolsters your defense. And then both goaltenders have been solid, Swayman and Olmark this year. They've been outstanding. So those are my four picks.
Absolutely. It's sure to be a great series. Now, Jonathan Huberdeau is officially the first player in Florida Panthers history to have an 100-point season. Hubie achieved this milestone on April 5th, where he notched 2 goals and 3 assists in the Panthers' 7-6 win over the Maple Leafs. What a great accomplishment for Huberdeau. He's made a huge impact for the Panthers, so it's good for him.
And the Vegas Golden Knights fell to the Vancouver Canucks on April 7th. Golden Knights are falling in the standings. Do the Knights still have a chance to make the playoffs? A lot of fans have said that since Jack Eichel has came into Vegas, he has brought the Buffalo curse to Vegas. Andrew will be speaking about that in a bit. Speaking of Buffalo, they have been eliminated from the playoffs for the 11th year in a row. At least Buffalo fans are getting another top 5 draft pick in this year's highly loaded draft class.
Now, some more league news. Jack Hughes is out for the season as he suffered an MCL sprain on April 3rd. Luckily, this isn't the worst news for the New Jersey Devils as they are out of the playoff race themselves, so they could take this time to rebuild their roster and get Hughes back out on the ice. And Tuukka Rask may have retired from the Boston Bruins in February, but he's not done with the NHL just yet. Rass says he's interested in the business side of things and will be spending some time with sponsors. He also has an interest in possibly being a coach in the future. As a Bruins fan, he is arguably one of the best Bruins goalies of all time. He has all my respect, and I wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors.
And Nick, to go back to your Vegas take, they've really been struggling recently. They did have a little 5-game winning streak there, but they just have a lot of injuries right now. And the goaltending, Leonard's been banged up a bit. I don't know if Thompson and Brossoit are going to be good enough to get them in. We'll see. Vegas fans aren't used to not making the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. Dallas has been making a push. Nashville's up there as well. So we'll see what happens with Vegas. And then Toronto right now, they just continue to struggle defensively. They blew a 5-1 lead to Florida the other night. It's just same old Toronto. They went out and they got Mark Giordano at the trade deadline. Giordano's a good ad, but he's 38 years old, and he's not exactly the stay-at-home defenseman that he once was. And they also got Ilya Lyubushkin, who's a solid defenseman. But just going into the playoffs, we'll see what happens. You're not gonna be able to score 6 goals in the playoffs every night. They have as much high-end talent as anyone in the league, with obviously Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Bunting. But and also the goaltending's been a problem as well. Jack Campbell just came back from his core injury. But he's obviously not been the same as he was at the beginning of the year. Eric Chalgren has come in as a young player, unproven, so we'll see what happens with the Leafs, but I'm just not sure they're going to be built for a playoff run.
Well, that's all we have time for today. I'm Michaela Krupski with Nick Giglietti and Andrew Bluestein. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on, and thank you, Nick, as always, for co-hosting alongside me. And thank you for tuning in this past semester. We can't wait to see you back here in the fall with more episodes of The Neutral Zone.